Hi, I'm Bob Hendricks with the law firm of Warner, Norcross, and Judd. I'm the co-chair of the law firm's Cannabis Industry Practice Group. I've been practicing marijuana business law since 2013, and a lot has changed in the last 8 years here in Michigan and nationally. But one thing that hasn't changed is federal illegality. Marijuana continues to be federally illegal under the Federal Controlled Substances Act. The consequences of that federal illegality can be seen in the availability of, or the lack of availability of banking services for the industry, the likelihood that the business will pay higher federal income tax, and interestingly, the unavailability of federal bankruptcy relief for marijuana businesses. So what's the big deal with not having bankruptcy relief? Well, I'm joined today by my colleague, Elisabeth and Eitzen, who's a member of our law firm's bankruptcy practice group. And Liz is going to talk a little bit about the importance of bankruptcy relief in the business context. Liz?
Thanks, Bob. Well, I think it's important first to talk about what bankruptcy can do for our creditors. So instead of having 50 different states with their 50 different rules, the bankruptcy code is a federal code and is the same whether you're in Michigan, Hawaii, or Alaska. And so that provides some continuity for both creditors and debtors to know what they're going to get when a distressed debtor needs to file for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy has a negative connotation, but it can be helpful for all creditors. It provides a structured liquidation of assets where the higher priority creditors will get paid and then lower priority creditors, but everyone will be treated fairly and in a pro rata share based on the class of creditors that they are in. It also provides just certainty that you know that when a lawsuit is filed, instead of having 6 different lawsuits filed by 6 different creditors, you will have the same forum where all creditors will partake in whatever distribution is available to creditors. It will allow a debtor to reorganize in a structured manner, as opposed to, again, being pulled in 6 different directions by 6 different courts. So the fact that bankruptcy relief is not available to debtors in the marijuana industry is difficult for both creditors and debtors, and is something that is going to be a struggle until it is legally permissible under federal law.
So that's the bad news, that under federal law, at least until it changes to legalize marijuana federally, bankruptcy relief is not available. But here in Michigan, our legislature took an important step just a few months ago by authorizing our regulator, the Marijuana Regulatory Agency, to authorize a marijuana business with financial difficulties to be transferred to a state court receiver. Now, a receiver isn't exactly the same as a bankruptcy trustee, but Liz is going to tell us some of the ways in which this step that the Michigan legislature has taken is an important first step in normalizing this industry. Liz?
Thanks. So what a receiver, as Bob mentioned, it's similar to a trustee. It doesn't have all the rights and powers of a trustee, but has certain tools in its toolbox that a debtor wouldn't have or that a single creditor wouldn't have. It allows the court to appoint a state court receiver. The receiver is under the authority of the court. It's pursuant to an order appointing a receiver that would provide what rights and duties and responsibilities that receiver has. The receiver can buy and sell assets. It could sell the entire company as a going concern, which is helpful when a creditor doesn't want to own a marijuana facility or doesn't want to own certain components of the marijuana business, but instead wants it sold, which will really benefit all of the creditors because there will be more assets available to pay competing creditors. It allows for a proof of claim process, similar to what you would have in a bankruptcy, where the receiver can solicit claims from various creditors, and those creditors can then partake in whatever distribution there is, again, in a similar priority structure where secured creditors would get paid first, but thereafter you'd have priority and unsecured creditors that could partake in a distribution in a pro rata share. It provides the hope is that it would provide the same sort of benefit where all of the competing claims are brought into one state court as opposed to 6 or 7 different lawsuits. We'll have to wait to see what rules are promulgated by the regulatory agency, but it does provide some hope that some, not all, but some of the bankruptcy protections will be available in a state court receivership action.
As a marijuana business lawyer, I'm delighted to see our state taking these first steps to normalize this industry. It'll make it easier for banks to decide to get in, and it'll just move us down the path toward treating this industry like every other industry in the United States. And for our clients and those who are in the business, whether as a license holder, a supplier of goods or services, a professional, remember that marijuana businesses are businesses. Treat them like a business. If at the first sign of financial difficulty, you need some advice and guidance, be sure to call Liz or me. We'd be happy to work you through the process. Thank you.
Thank you.